Hello guys, Spidey is back. So in this video, I am talking about the traffic signs classification. So guys, if you are connected to my Instagram page, then you have seen the stories of which I have uploaded. I have created one Flash web application which can predict what traffic sign is this. So we are using deep learning. So you can see this is the image. You can see this is the application. So let's just show how it's working. So I am predicting. You can see guys, this is the online. I am not using any local host. So you can see it written me a traffic sign is that vehicle matlab, like that vehicle weight should not be increased than 3.5 tons. So it can detect 43 class different types of classic traffic sign. So it built with the neural network simple which we have created from the scratch. So let's see how it's working. So currently this is the front end application, we can say web application. So in this video will be longer. I'm starting from the scratch, and I will lead you to the how you can make this kind of any application. Means how you can implement machine learning to any real time application. So let's see. So first of all, you need to download the data. So data is downloaded from here. This is the German traffic sign recognition benchmark dataset. So download this dataset. Okay. So now go to the any directory and just I am using D directory. So unlayer the dataset here. So after the unlayering dataset, you will get the four folder: meta, test, train, and these two CSV, meta, test, and train CSV. So now understand what is it. So our data is available in the training. So there are, you can see, 43 different types of folder which contain different types of images. Just opening it, you can see there are different types of the signs here. So you can see there are number of images are more. Even it's lagging my PC. So now we have to use the different type of approach to handle it. So let me open the trend.csv. So guys, this is the project building video. Now I'm not just telling you the tutorial. So how your thing should be about your project building. So first of all, you need to understand the data. So just I am opening this trend.csv. So after opening that, you can see there are the width, height, uh, and then value of the row y1, y2, class ID, and path is mentioned here. So you can do pre-processing on the trend.csv. This is the my first way, because here they have mentioned path also. Now my second way is that I just access the train folder directly and access all these images. So this step would be much easier than accessing CSV and then do image processing. So for the training, we are directly doing the image processing. So now go to the code. So I have made this IPVNB file. So code link in the description. Just you have to go to the my GitHub, and here it is my repository. You will get the code of the web application and Jupyter notebook. So now what library I have imported. Guys, don't be just think about it. This video will be longer because this is just we are doing a project development, not making just simple application. So let's see how many libraries I have imported. So I imported NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, CV2 for image processing, TensorFlow, Python image library, then sklearn for a trend test splitting, then utils for a categorical, then models, sequential model, and load model if you want to save the model. And then we have used it layers like dense, flatten, dropout, and convert 2D means convolutional neural network. So this thing we have imported from the Keras. So after that, what we have do, we have make a two empty list, one for your data and one for your label. So now we know we have 43 classes, so we have stored our classes. Now we have defined current path is equal to os dot get cwd, means it return me a working directory path. But here what I have did, actually I am working in the D directory and my this IPVNB available in the C directory, so that's why I have changed the working directory path to the D, means in my working directory where dataset is available. So it's time to the pre-processing image. So obviously we need to iterate over and over images, so we are using the for loop. So for I in range classes, so we have 43 classes, means this loop iterates over the 43 times. So we are using path is equal to os path dot join. So actually I am telling you with the logically. So first our for loop, just understand this is our zero step of the for loop. For loop will go to the in zero folder. Okay. After the image dot open, it open this image, one image, first image. After that, resizing into 30 into 30, 30 width and 30 height for the it should be based for our neural network feeding. So that's why we are resizing our image into 30 into 30. So for we have opened first image and resize into 30 30. After that, we are converting our image into array. After that, we have append our image into list. So we have append this image array data into this data list, this empty list. After that, we have append labels dot append I means what? I means this zero, means address of the folder. We are working in the zero folder, so zero is the label of these all are the images. So we have did this process for the this image, but our for loop will do this process for the all the 420 images which is available in zero folder. Now after zero pass complete, it will go to the one pass, means in one folder. It will do the same process for the all the images. After that, it will go to the second folder and once again it will do the same procedure. So after the 43 pass completion, it will complete the code. So now we will get the our data in labels. So now once again we have to convert our data into array. So we are converting our data and label into array. Now we have make one folder with os.mkdir training. So let me give you the reason. I have created this training folder. If actually I want to do different types of I want to use the different types of approach, like I want to use neural network. After that, if I want to use the transfer learning approach, then my data should be saved in this npy file. So there is an option in numpy np.save, means we are saving this list, means this image data in label data in some file. So I have saved my this the data into data.npy and target.npy for my future use. Just imagine after one day I want to implement some another strategy on this, then I don't need to do this process once again, because it takes the too much time, because there are number of images are more. So that's why we have saved our image data. So now check the shape. So now your data and label shape should be same. You can see this shape and this shape should be same. So now it's time to the training and testing splitting. So obviously this time we are using 80-20 ratio, 80% in the training and 20% is the testing. So after that, once again guys, I'm not doing going into too much detail, because this is a deep learning project. You need to know some of the basic machine learning, what is the base ratio, what is the training testing splitting. So you need to know good hand in the sklearn. So if you have, then you can understand this video easily. Now once again I am checking the shape. So x train shape, x test, y train and y test shape. So x train and y train shape should be same, you can see, and x test and y test shape should be same. Okay, so now our shape is same, so we can do procedure ahead. So now there is a one concept of the label encoding. We can say one hot encoding. Already we have encoded our label, means our class is in already in 0, 1, 2, 3 until the 43 format. So now there is a one concept of the one hot encoding. If you don't know what is it, then just Google it and open the Stack Overflow link. It you will get easily what is this concept. So now we need to fit the one hot encoding. So we can do this thing with the scikit-learn, but already in Keras there is a two underscore categorical method which will allow us to do one hot encoding. So now one hot we need to do one hot encoding on our label, means in our Y data. So we have fitted our one hot encoding on Y train, and now there are how many labels we have? So we have 43 labels. So that's why we have defined we have to one hot encoding on the Y train and Y test. So now it's time to build our neural network. So we have defined model is equal to sequential. After that we have started to fitting convolutional neural network. So for the better accuracy, you can change many things here. Like you can change the filter, kernel size, activation function. If you want to change dropout, then you can change the dropout also. But your this last layer of the dense should be same, because at the end you will get the output from the 43, means your outcome should be in the 43 classes. So that's why you have defined I have defined 43 here. You can change these many things here, like you can change activation ReLU to some like hyperbolic tangent, and there are lots of activation functions available. So you can change it by your, you can, if you get the more accuracy, then you can use it. So at the last layer I am using softmax function. So that's how you can build the neural network. So first you can see I built a convolutional neural network, then max pool. After dropout, once again I will choose the convolutional neural network. After that max pool and then dropout. At the end means we have defined flatten layer. After the dense we have once again dropout, and the last layer we have used the dense, and we have defined 43 because we have the 43 classes. So now our model is built in. Now it's time to compile the model. So we are using categorical cross entropy for the loss strategy. My optimizer is the Adam and matrix is the accuracy. So now I am compiling my model. So for better accuracy, you can change any optimizer here, and you can change the loss strategy. Now it's time to fit the model, means training for the model. So I have did this training on the my NVIDIA GPU 920 MX. So currently I am using CUDA and NVIDIA TensorFlow GPU 1.14 version. So I will define epoch size equal to 20. You can if you want more accuracy, then you can increase it to 20 to 30, 40, 50, whatever you want. But in 20 I got the good accuracy of the 94%. So model.fit, after that we have fit the data, batch size 32, epoch is equal to this, we define 20. Validation data, we have defined X test and Y test. So you can see accuracy. So you can do this task on the Colab. In Colab you will get the result instantly, but in Colab you have to upload the data and download the model. So there are number of many steps you have to do on a Colab, but in local it would be very easy. But it will get the time if you don't have a GPU. But I have a good GPU, not a good. I have just 2 GB of NVIDIA, but still it's working very good on the training. So it takes around 15 minutes to train these 20 epochs. So let's see what is my end accuracy. So I get the accuracy of a 0.9529 at the 20 epoch, and my validation accuracy is 0.98 and loss is 0.05, which is very good. So I got the really good accuracy. So now let's plot the accuracy plot. So let's see how my accuracy and validation accuracy is going. So you can see this plot is, so according to this plot it's looking good. So let's plot the loss. So my training loss and validation loss also going good. So there is no need to worry about it. My model is not overfitted. But now we have to do testing. So now once again go to the back to the data structure. Not a subject, just I am talking about this working directory. So we have already this test.csv, and you can see there is a folder of test. But now in test there is a one you can see there are not class of the folder. Here there are number of images which is a mix. You can see these all are the different class of the images. These two for the speed limit, these two for the right. So now how we will do the testing? Okay, so now just we have to go back to the our test.csv. We have to read the csv. So I define one function y test is equal to pd.read csv. So after that, let me open the CSV for the easier. What we have to do for the label, we have choose the class ID, and for images we have choose the path. I think guys you remember there is a path of every images with ID is available here. So and class ID is also available. So we have defined label is equal to class ID column and image is equal to path column. After that we did the same procedure which we did during the training. So what it will do, so once again it is going to iterate the for loop. So first it will come with the this row, it will go to the this image on the test folder, it will go to the, all the array info and store in data empty list. After that it will go to the label from the class ID. So it will, I'm not just explaining in the full details, it is same as the training process. Okay, so we have got the empty data in the training, means in the data list. Now we don't need to actually to do with the label, just we are storing our label because now we have to predict the label. So now xtest is equal to np.array. Now once again we are converting our list into array which we have did during the training time. So now what it will be return me, so it return me a xtest comma label. So now call the function, and during the call the function we have to define the csv file. So what we have to just I have defined the csv file name, then ypred is equal to model dot predict classes. So it will predict the class of all the images and it will store in this ypred. So we have got the result. Now it's time to watch the accuracy, means now we have test our model. So from the sklearn.matrix import accuracy score. So accuracy score we have seen using label and ypred. So label is actual the label for our testing data and ypred is the predicted label for the our testing data. So according to our accuracy score is 0.94. So it's time to do congratulations because our model did actually really well. 0.94 is a good accuracy. So now I got the really good amazing model with the higher accuracy. So what we will do, we will save this model.save, and then training we have already make a one training folder, then tsr.h5. So now we have save our model into h5 format. So for the future is now just assume that I have closed my laptop and just go for the some refreshment and watching TV. After 2 hours, I back to the come back to the work. So now once again I don't need to train the model once again from the scratch. Already I have the code, but every time I will get the different accuracy. So I have saved the my model. So let once again to load the my model here. So here I will define once again I will define the path, then keras dot model load model. So it will load the my model into the memory which we have seen, which we have the save. So actually what it will do, it will load the original training data which learning process we can say, it save the learning process into one file. Once again it load the that learning process. So now we can access that model anytime because we have saved that in H5 format. Now we are doing testing on the some random image. So I have defined classes is equal to one I have make a one dictionary and then define key and value. 0 is the key and just we have give the label, means 0 class is for the speed limit, 1 class is for the speed limit 30, 2 is this for speed limit 50, 4 is for speed limit 60. So now you can see for in the classes it start from the 1 to 43, 1 to 43, but guys we are using a dictionary, and model also return me a model. Our machines only start count from the 0. So my machine count this one classes as a 0. So if I count start from the here from the 1, then my prediction would be wronger. So that's why we have started from the 0, and we are going to 0 to 42, means we have just if you count a 0, then it will be 43 classes. So understand this concept, it is a very easiest thing to understand. Lots of people doing mistake here. So that's why you, if you start from the 1, then you will get the wronger prediction. So now my all the data is imported. Okay, so now my library is imported. So let's run this dictionary. So now once again we need to get the PIL from the image, then NumPy and matplotlib. Now that is I have created one function def test on the images. It required one image file. Then when once again we have created empty list for the data, then image is equal to image dot open. It will open the image. Then once again it resize into 30 into 30. Then data dot append. It will do the same procedure as we have performed during training and testing. But at the end we have also predict the class, means we have doing prediction on that image, and it return me a prediction. So what it will be written? So it return me a image file, means image and the prediction. So you need to understand, I want to get the prediction, so that's why I'm returning vibrate. But now I want to plot my image on the matplotlib, that's why I'm returning my image. So now time to call the function. So we have defined plot and prediction. Prediction return me a prediction of that image, and plot return me that image. So I can plot that image into using matplotlib. So I have defined one image from the uh, 0 for the from the test folder. So now let's run this. So now it will return me prediction as a like this. Just assume that I have got the 5 class. Okay. So now I need to convert that list into string. So with that string, I can access this class from the dictionary. Means on the 5, we need to fetch the value of the speed limit 80 kilometer. So that's why I have converted list into string, and then once again we did integer, because we need to fetch the original class value from the dictionary. So that's why we are doing this procedure here. So just we have defined one method, predictor traffic sign is that, and then classes of the a. A is what? A is the string, sorry, A is the integer which we have got through prediction. Okay. So now you can see this logo is blur. Sorry, this image is looking blurry because it is in the very small format. But you can see our accuracy is very good. Road work. Obviously, it looking this sign is a road work. So let's do on the some other images. So let's try on this 9 images. Okay, these 14 images. So just we have to give the name 0014. So you can see predicted sign of speed limit 70 kilometer. You can see this is the 70 kilometer speed sign. So now just guys do the congratulations, because we have implemented our machine learning and deep learning into some real high process. So now understand the thing here. Just to you need to be happy because you have built one deep learning model, you have solved the data and you have solved the problem. At the end you are getting amazing result. Now if you are doing some college project or internship project or whatever, you or making your product for your company or for your startup, So now you have to implement it, this model, this deep learning on some real time application, real world application. So I need actually I have implemented this machine learning onto the Flask. So now what you have to do, once again go to the working directory. So now I have created one folder web app. Because I have created web app, you can create desktop application with Tkinter, or you can create amazing website with Django or Flask, whatever you want. So I have created one web app. I have put this model, copy this model and put it into web app, and created one folder model and put this model into tsr.h5 into model folder. Okay, so now we are moving to the PyCharm. So this is code of our Flask web application. So guys, you don't need to understand anything in the Flask is very simple. So just we have do the same procedure from here. We have important Flask. So you have to create a static and template to folder for the Flask. In template there is a base.index.html. In static there is a CSS and JavaScript file. So in the app I have initialized my Flask application, and then I have copied my dictionary from the class from the that Jupyter notebook. So your code should be testing for the same. So just we have copy pasted that testing code here. Once again here I am loading the model, opening the image, resizing the image. But here first focus on this. It returned me index.html. So first let me run this. So now I am running this on the local machine. First let me close my Jupyter notebook because actually it's lagging. So close me unnecessary tabs, because my video is already recording, so that's why already 27 minutes is gone. So for the startup page we have defined render template. It return index.html, means when you go to the URL it show the index.html page. Sorry guys for delaying, but it's okay. So now my application is running. So this is index.html. So this is simple HTML we have implemented. So there is a one button here, upload button. So when I click on the upload button, I can upload the image. So just assume that I have uploaded this image. Okay. So now in the I had one used the decorator and one function here for the upload, def upload. If request dot method is equal to post, obviously my method should be post, and obviously it will be the post. So then what it will do, it is the one image uploader button, sorry, it is uploader button from the HTML. So now it requests for our Flask is requesting for that file, for this file. You can see this is file. So this is what. So if you go to the index.html, just let me search for the file. So file is the ID of our file uploader. You can see this is the ID of file. So our Flask is requesting that image because we need to do prediction on this image file. So f is equal to request.file and file. So it will request for the file. After that we need to download if user upload the file, then server need to download that file in the storage. So what we are doing, file path is equal to secure file name. Secure file name will download your file with the same name as which user upload. If I am uploading 1.jpg, then server will download that 1.jpg using the secure file name. So we have secured a file name, and then f.save is equal to file path, means in this line, with this line we have downloaded our image. So now the procedure is once again same. We have downloaded image which is uploaded by user. So this is the function which we have do for the prediction. So it is same as the our testing which we have done in the Jupyter notebook. Just we are not returning the matplotlib plot, because I don't want to plot the image into the matplotlib, so I am just returning my vibrate here. So after that it returned me a result. So result is already in list format, so we are doing the same procedure here. We are converting our list into the string, and we are passing the one message predicted traffic sign is plus class of the A. So now it returns this message to the our index.html, and this message will go to the here, and at the just I have defined return none. If my request is not the post, then it will return me none. And at the end I have defined os.remove, then means after the prediction completion it will automatically delete the uploaded file which is sent by the client. So just now understand the scene here. If I click on this predict button, so it's sending this image to this server. You can see this image is came here in this working folder, and it automatically deleted after prediction. I think you've seen this automatically PyCharm deleted images. So with this code you can delete the image. So after the prediction you will get this result. So Flask implementation is very easy. And the end I had defined debug is equal to true, means debug is equal to true means if you do the changing when your server is running, then automatically when you click on the refresh it automatically change whatever you change here. So guys, now I have deployed this model into the Heroku. So guys, I am not repeating all the steps once again. So I have already made a one deployment video of the Heroku. So click on that I button, it will lead you to that video. So I think guys we have completely built our project in just 31 minutes. So in 31 minutes I just explain what is the project, what is your approach to handle the project. So it takes almost 2 to 3 hours to build this project for me. So you can build this project in just 2 or 3 hours, and you can mention this project into your profile or into your resume, LinkedIn, or you can post it on the Instagram. So guys, now what you have to do, so guys I just explain you this project in the 30 minutes. So now just you have to help me and support me. So just you have to go to the my machine learning hub YouTube page or YouTube channel you can say, and subscribe this channel. So just guys, I have started this channel around 2 months ago, and just in 2 months I have completed 1050 plus subscriber in just 2 months. So guys, now you have to do support and subscribe this machine learning hub channel. I will make every video on the weekend, because now my college is started. Guys, I am not like professional developer, I am also a student like you. So my college is starting from the Monday, so I think I will not get the time, because now it's due to COVID-19 it's all the scene of the online lectures. But I will try to do my best, and I will upload 1 or 2 video in the week. So guys, thanks for the listening me, and keep the coding. And if you want to the code as, so go to this repository. But guys, I just request you don't copy paste the code, understand the code, then you can copy and just start this repository and follow me on the GitHub. If you have any query, then you can contact me on this machine learning hub page. So I am the founder of this machine learning hub community on the Instagram. So guys, you can follow me on this page, and don't forget to subscribe the channel and like this video. So guys, see you in the next one. On the next video I think I will create a attendance management system using face recognition. I will build it from the scratch, and I will guide you how you can build this project. So guys, see you in the next one. Until that, keep coding, do more projects, and learn something new. So guys, see you in the next one. Until that, keep coding, safe coding. Bye.